Hello everybody, we are back. Welcome back to Formula for Speed. I am one of your hosts, Chad, and I'm with my other lovely co-host. Please introduce yourself once again.
Hello.
This is the Babyface. Guys, Babyface, Brazil. Oh man, guys, I'm not happy about it because my McLaren boys I'm just gonna put it out there before we get into anything. McLaren didn't have the best weekend at all. So just get that out the way to all my McLaren fans. Looks like Ferrari may beat us this year. I'm just put that out there, Babyface, before we get started. So I don't have to talk about it later. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to be best of the rest, are you?
I don't think so. Ferrari looks like they've got a rocket of a car from either 2018-19 and nothing from last year. So I don't know. But, Babyface, let's start off with qualifying. How did you feel about qualifying?
So, Hamilton he already started qualifying with a 5-place grid penalty because he took an upgrade for internal combustion.
Mm-hmm.
Hamilton, for the sprint, had to start all the way in the back.
Now, why was that?
Because...
Yeah, you Mercedes boys. What were y'all trying to do, huh? What were you up to?
How dare you?
Any Mercedes fans out there? I mean, can you explain yourself?
I think there was a 0.8 millimeter discrepancy or size difference in when the DRS wing opens and the gap. Listen,
Max noticed it.
He
called it out.
Max
called it out.
There's so much.
She's a Mercedes fan. All you guys already know, she is a Mercedes fan. I'm a McLaren fan, but...
Listen. After qualifying,
mm-hmm.
when it was already in Parc Fermé, nobody's supposed to touch the cars. Nothing's supposed to happen to the cars. Max was caught by a spectator from the stands on video
mm-hmm.
touching Lewis Hamilton's back wing.
He did.
He's not supposed to touch it. You can do, there was a joke going around that Seb used to inspect big cars.
Yeah.
And it used to be called Inspector Seb.
He did.
Because he would walk around and he would look at them, look inside the cockpit, but he would never touch them.
Mm-hmm.
Same with, if you remember, Hamilton looked at the 2018 Ferrari when he mentioned that they were like a rocket. He went over there, and I think it was Seb's car he went to look at. He just looked at it like, what is that? But Max actually touched the car. As a result, Mercedes was disqualified.
Mm-hmm.
And so Hamilton had to start all the way in 20th position.
He already got a five-place grid penalty.
Now, he already got a 5-place grid penalty.
So technically 25. He started slot 25.
For the sprint race, he got a 5-place penalty. But then he, for the actual race, he had to start all the way in the back.
That's for that wing infraction, Babyface. You Mercedes boys got to keep it tight.
Max Verstappen got a €50,000 fine for touching the wing.
Yep, he sure did. Yeah.
So the start was Verstappen, Bottas, Perez. Well, actually, Bottas won sprint.
He did. Bottas was on form. He did.
And Bottas, I love the radio for Bottas because the engineer came on because they're in Brazil, and Brazil is a huge football nation. He came on and went, pole position. Wow, it made me smile. That was great.
Yeah.
But when Hamilton was sent all the way to the back after being disqualified, I thought, okay, he can finish on the podium because I know he can do it. But I thought that was Red Bull's race to lose, in my opinion.
Babyface, before you go on from qualifying, this is why I was upset. Not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna just talk about it, Babyface. Do you know who qualified 5th and 6th? Qualifying? Sure wasn't us.
The Ferraris?
Yes, they did. We qualified 7th and 8th. And for the life of me, I'm like, we're looking at Hamilton's wing being off by .008. Is anybody looking at that Ferrari car? and wondering how from last year to this year they go from bottom third of the whole grid to now potentially best of the rest. Like, what?
Listen.
I'm just saying, babyface. I'm trying to figure out what was
Listen.
done to that car to improve so drastically from
I don't
this.
know, but I'm here to tell you. Lewis Hamilton, from being disqualified, won the Brazil Grand Prix.
Shout out to Hamilton. I mean,
Lewis Hamilton won the Brazilian Grand Prix. There was drama leading into the Grand Prix.
a lot of drama.
There was drama during the Grand Prix.
It was a good race.
It was a very good race.
Shout out to Hamilton. Verstappen, second. Shout out to him.
Second.
Bottas third.
Bottas third. So the most repeated podium. Hamilton, Verstappen, and Bottas.
At least your guys did well.
How did you guys do?
Norris 10th. Rick didn't finish. But I'm keeping an eye on the Ferraris because that's who we're battling against. They were 5th and 6th.
Well, Norris screwed himself at the very beginning.
It was a rough start.
When it started,
It was a rough
Bottas did get a great start, but Verstappen got an even better start.
He did.
Because he then overtook Bottas and just went and then, started leading the race. Norris, in lap 9, he was trying to overtake Leclerc.
Mm-hmm.
He got a puncture.
He did.
So he had to...
He did.
And I'm sorry, this was even before lap 9. This was at the beginning.
Very beginning, yeah.
Norris got into a little tangle with Leclerc. I'm sorry, apologies, that's not even right. Norris got a puncture with contact with Sainz.
Yes, the Ferrari. He did.
So when he touched Sainz, he got a puncture and he had to pit lap 2 of the Grand Prix.
He did.
For some hard tires. And that pit stop was a 5.9 second pit stop, so it wasn't a stellar
it was an issue with the tire. Yeah.
pit stop. So his race, in my opinion,
Was kind of over. You could say it. I mean, it wasn't over, but I was hoping from him a great start and at least P5. At least ahead of the Ferraris, somewhere around there, because for me, I was like, we're going to have an issue with Gasly, and because of the pace. I didn't think Ocon and Alonso would finish that well. I kind of thought Vettel would finish before them, but then again, I said, well, they do have pace, so, it was painful, babyface.
well, but I will be honest, there was a lot of room to salvage that race because Tsunoda had contact with Stroll.
He did.
Which made some bodywork just come flying off the cars. Yeah. Which then resulted in a safety car, and a full safety car to pick up the debris.
It did.
Sonoda had to get his front wing. It was his front wing that then ended up going under the car.
It did.
And so when he had to get a new wing, and in order to pick all that up, full safety car, so now the pack gets bunched all the way back together to do a restart. By the time the first safety car was out, Verstappen was leading the race. So Rick and Norris had time to kind of catch up and restart. By lap 9, the safety car ended. But then there was a second time to kind of bunch up a little bit because lap 11, Mick Schumacher's front wing went under his car.
Yeah.
And actually, now that I'm really thinking about it, it was Tsunoda's front wing kind of shredded, disintegrated, and it was Mick Schumacher's wing that went under the car, which then resulted in a virtual safety
car, yeah.
So that lasted for 3 laps through lap 14. Another great opportunity to bunch up the grid. Verstappen was still leading in front, but it was a great opportunity to bunch everybody up to then kick off. So Norris and Rick had some opportunity.
Had a little bit. Looking at the pace, though, I just knew, even with that opportunity, I was like, I knew we didn't have enough to catch Gasly, and I knew we didn't have enough to catch the Ferraris. I just knew it. Off a raw pace right now, we're not as quick as the Ferrari, and we're not as quick as that AlphaTauri. We're just not.
But I mean, now that you're on speed, lap 30, Gasly overtook Norris for 10th.
Yeah.
And he overtook him nice and clean.
Yeah.
So
we didn't have the pace. That's what I'm saying.
What happened to your pace?
I just think these guys, first of all, AlphaTauri runs that Honda engine, and I believe that Honda engine is good. Okay? Now, for me, Gasly's always been on pace this season. Notice, he's always in the top 5.
Oh, he is an unsung hero.
Yeah, he's good. The Ferraris, after that upgrade, after the summer break, they already stated we're expecting to be up there, and they are. They were already expecting to be faster than everyone else in the field from the best of the rest, should I say. They're saying we should be top 3. We should be top 3. Their only competition I'm thinking they're expecting now is Gasly. Because they know we don't have the pace to keep up with him. It's just facts. Right now we don't. I mean,
and to that point,
crazy.
Do you think that there's some Mercedes power unit issues because Rick was a do not finish because of a power failure?
Possibly.
Because we did get Bottas and
I'm wondering that. Yeah.
Got upgrades, which they took penalties for, but they took upgrades. And if you remember, I think it was Hamilton's upgrade. One of the two.
Right.
Someone said the reason that they decided to time the upgrade now is because they were worried that, or they said that a do not finish was worse than, you know, taking the penalty and then working their way back up and at least getting some points.
Right.
So maybe McLaren potentially sandbagging upgrades for next season rather than just kind of throwing away this season?
No, there's no need, because if they could get best of the rest, that's more money for them overall.
But has McLaren done any upgrades?
They have, but not like Mercedes. And Red Bull did all their upgrades early on in the season.
That is true.
So, unless they have an upgrade, I don't know, man. And I know they're running a different aero package than Mercedes as well. Mm-hmm. So, again, Ferrari, that's our direct competition. With that being, because we're right neck and neck with them, at least we were a couple races ago, I'm worried. Because that car, if you look at Ferrari's pace, that car is keeping up.
I don't think McLaren's gonna beat Ferrari for the rest of the rest.
That was my fear. When I saw that upgrade they brought, I said, what, did they bring back that engine from 19? Because it wasn't there last year. That pace was nowhere near where it is now. Nowhere near. And I'm like, what did they do? What did they do? I know the Ferrari got resources, I get it. But from last year to this year, I'm like, wow. And I know Ferrari's normally not Red Bull and Mercedes. It's been Ferrari and Mercedes.
Yeah.
You know, excluding last year. But the year before that, yeah. So I don't know, man.
They're noodling their way back to the front. Now, let's talk about the big elephant in the room. Lap 48. Hamilton tries to overtake Verstappen. They both go off the track.
How did you feel about that? Did you see the replay from Max's car?
Listen.
Because I know some drivers were like, hey, if that's legal, I have to adjust.
Listen.
It was a racing incident. I don't know. What do you think? Listen. Mercedes fans, let us know what you think. Red Bull fans, is that just good racing? If Lewis would have did that to Max, what would be the sentiment on that?
Let's be. I'm a Mercedes fan.
Right.
My second team has always been Red Bull.
Facts.
I was a Mercedes Red Bull fan before Mercedes and Red Bull became contenders and battling for the championship. So that kind of puts me in an interesting situation because I'm primarily a Mercedes fan, but I'm happy to see when Red Bull does well. I'm not mad at it.
Mm-hmm.
It is my opinion that the FIA has a giant bone to pick with Mercedes. The reason I think that way is because the rule changes for this season, as Lewis is constantly being heard in the replay and the openings of Formula One and anything Formula One that you see, where he says the rule changes have hit us harder than they have Red Bull. That is a fact. The rule changes have it seemed like they were more targeted at weakening Mercedes to make the sport more interesting, to bring the grid closer together, and to have more exciting racing. I am actually not mad at that. The reason I'm not mad at it is because I myself like to see racing. I like to see the battling between different teams. I don't want to see a clear cut like McLaren did when Senna and Prost were on,
You know what I say to that? Catch up.
Listen.
Shouldn't have to be penalized because you can't catch up to our technical. No,
I hear you, I partly agree with that, but I'm also not.
Up.
Listen, I'm not mad at the efforts of wanting to make the sport more even and more competitive all around.
It's like saying I'm gonna give everybody a participation trophy.
Listen,
that's bold.
Listen, I'm not mad at that.
I am.
What does crawl under my skin is, had Lewis touched Max's wing, in my opinion, everyone and their mum would have lost their entire minds, and it wouldn't have just been a €50,000 penalty. Which, let's face it, €50,000 for us.
Thought he got that for the wing.
Listen,
Max got that for the wing, right?
For touching the wing. Listen, to us, that's a huge amount of money. To someone that has a multi-million-dollar contract, a multi-euro contract, that's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah,
it'll be okay. Listen. Had that been Lewis touching the back of that wing, in my opinion, there would have been a lot more repercussions. You best believe it. Also, as it relates to that, going off the track. When I saw it at first without the replay, I saw Lewis's car moving further and further to the right as Max was moving to the right, because he learned his lesson from Silverstone. He was not going to get into a crash with this kid again. And when I saw that car, and if you watch it, you see Lewis's car, the nose keeps jerking to the right to try to avoid
I saw it.
Max. So for whoever out there is saying that Lewis is a dirty driver, that Mercedes is a dirty team, no. Lesson learned. We're going to keep these cars on the road. We're going to deal with all the consequences later, but we're not going to crash right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just for my own peace of mind, we have cameras on the track. Mm-hmm. Those cool, shots where we can look up at the cars as they're flying across. We have helicopters. We have cameras on strings. We have cameras on helmets. We have cameras in front of the halo. We have cameras looking inside the cockpit, looking out of the... We have so many cameras.
There's a lot of cameras.
So when I heard that the shot of Verstappen's steering wheel was not available, that there was no shot of that, I call horse dung.
I think it was upon investigation. Possible. I think that's why they withheld that, because they wanted to look at it at first.
Listen,
that's what I think.
Here is where I call out the FIA. They said there's nothing to investigate. No investigation necessary. Now, had they investigated and then decided no action necessary, that's different. They actually looked at it. They said, you know what? Championship contenders, and this one, we're going to say let them race. That is our Okay, fine. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
Go for it. But the fact that they said no investigation necessary, you didn't want to look. Now, if the roles were reversed, and it was Lewis pushing Max all the way wide, you best believe there would have been an investigation, a 20-second penalty, a drive-through penalty, and all the way back to the grid for the next Grand Prix.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is not my beef. This is between these two teams. I already had enough gripe with my McLaren boys having a bad race. So I will say when I saw that, I was like, ooh, I was a little, because even I think, was it Crofty or somebody else commentating was like, that was a little close. I mean, actually that should have been, I believe he stated that was borderline penalty.
Listen.
Because I believe he stated that. I
will actually say, when I was watching the race live, part of me was really hoping that the stewards would look into it, but just let it go. Because Had they given Max a penalty, this whole Max army would have been coming out of the woodworks. Oh, because if Lewis ends up winning this championship, they would have come out the woodworks. Oh my God, the only reason he won is because Mercedes paid off the FIA and because of that penalty. That is the only reason. So when they let it slide, I immediately thought, you know what, good, because when he goes on to win this race, we can't say it was because of a penalty. No, let's face it. And let me just throw this out right now to the confusion of everybody. I'm a huge Mercedes fan, but I actually prefer Valtteri Bottas over Hamilton. I personally am not a Lewis Hamilton super fan. I'm not. I'm very glad he drives for us because, we're winning championships. But I actually prefer Valtteri Bottas, which is why I'm so heartbroken that he's now going to Alpha. That's neither here nor there. My point is, Lewis Hamilton is the best driver on that grid right now. Anybody else that says he isn't, that is your opinion, you are entitled to it. But Lewis Hamilton, anybody that goes on Google, Wikipedia, whatever search engine you use, pull up the statistics, Lewis Hamilton is statistically the best driver we have ever seen in this sport. And he has proven his talent with things that just happened in Brazil. Didn't require a penalty because none was given. There wasn't even an investigation. This guy came from the back of the pack.
Yeah.
Noodled his way through.
Yeah.
To the front. Now, you can be ignorant enough and go, oh, it's because he has a really fast car. May I remind you that the pack is now closer than ever because of the rule changes put into place, in my opinion, designed to stop Mercedes' dominance. So at some point, it's no longer the car, it really is the driver.
I agree with Leclerc. Because there's been some, now that you say that, you bring up Hamilton, it's been a lot of talk. I guess Alonso said something else about Hamilton and Mercedes, and Max had maybe a couple words. Leclerc said it best. It's not only the car, it's the driver as well. Because you have to have both. Because, again, I've always stated this. Mercedes has the most dominant car for the last couple years, since the hybrid era. But at the same time, I've always stated this. Even when people try to say, well, Alonso won without a dominant car, that 05 Renault is hands down one of the best cars built. Go back and look. That car was good. McLaren has statistically the best car ever made. The MP4, that's my team, and they do. No one's ever won in Formula One without a great car. I don't care how good the driver was. That's why Senna wanted to go to McLaren. Because he was tired of having his talent wasted in not a great car.
Case in point, Michael Schumacher drove for Mercedes when Mercedes became a team again. Greatest driver, because I've noticed a lot of that. People that call that of the opinion that Lewis Hamilton is the greatest driver ever, they come back and go, no, Michael Schumacher was the greatest driver ever. He'll never beat Michael Schumacher. To your point, Michael Schumacher drove a Mercedes. Greatest driver. Couldn't get that car to win a championship. Why? Because you had a great driver, but not a great car.
Well, also too, when Schumi first went to Ferrari, they weren't winning off bat. They had to build him a great car. When Lewis first got to Mercedes, he didn't win off bat. It takes both.
You need three things, in my opinion. You need a fantastic driver, you need a fantastic car, and let's not forget, you need a good team.
You need a good team.
Because if you have a great driver and a great team, but your strategy and your pit stops are trash, you can hang it up.
I will say this. You guys, this season's been been the closest in a while, and I think this is what all the fans wanted. You guys can probably agree on that. But I will say, when it comes to watching the Brazilian race, I said, dude is good. I mean, he was good with us, but dude's a beast. Dude's a beast. I mean, I watched what he did, and I said, man, he's a beast. You don't have to like Lewis Hamilton. I've always said this. I don't like, perfect example, I'm a big 49ers fan. I can't stand the Cowboys, but I can't deny their greatness in the 90s when they were under Jimmy Johnson. Probably the best team I've seen since I've been alive. I can't stand them, but I'm not naive enough to say or ignorant enough to say they're not good. They weren't the best. All the Lewis Hamilton guys, people that don't like them, okay, you could say Max is, well, the guy said Max is quicker. If that's what you say, if Max is quicker or anybody else is quicker, they should be beating Hamilton, right?
Yeah.
Max so far has been in the sport, what, 5-6 years now?
Yeah, 6 years.
6 years. Not one championship. Alonso has something to say, which I find interesting. He has too. And he then went to Ferrari for a stint in 2010. He didn't win another one after Renault, right? He's also said the same thing about Vettel. I don't know what his deal is with them two. I don't know. I don't know if he just doesn't like them for whatever reason. But when I watch guys like Lauda before he died and Schumi say Lewis was good, I trust them two over Alonso any day. Listen. And I'm not knocking Alonso, but what I will say is this. For what I saw in Brazil, great racing, great driving. You all did well. Red Bull did well. Yeah. This is what everyone wanted to see. They wanted to see neck and neck racing. When's the last time we're going to the last 3 races of the season and it's been this close? It's been a while. My bitterness, again, I will say this. You guys are going to be good. Red Bull's going to be good. Hats off to both teams. My bitterness is this. I have the biggest gripe out of all of you, and I'm going to tell you why. Once again, Ferrari fans, you guys were bottom third last season. Now you're top third. Where did this new car... I just want to know where... You talk about looking at cars in Parc Ferme. I want to go through that car and say, okay, I'm not saying you're cheating. I'm asking what is the difference.
I'm saying it.
Where did that car come from? Ferrari fans.
2019, that's what.
Ferrari fans. I'm not saying you're cheating. I just want to know where the car came from. But again, my hats off to the winners. To the winner of for Hamilton. Great race, Mercedes fans. It's going to be a good one. That's 3 races, both ass.
Absolutely fantastic.
Ferrari finished 6th. Gasly had another good race.
Stroll was another one that did not finish because bodywork started flying off of his car.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was overall, guys, this was a great weekend. I mean, you got to see... No, I don't think anyone's ever done what Lewis did this weekend, from what they were saying.
No one's ever.
No one's ever done that. So,
which cements the point. The guy is in a league of his own.
And and again, I've always said this, guys. Prost wasn't my favorite driver. I didn't know him personally. I think he did some. Like, you guys talk about guys whining now. Prost would get out of his car. He got out of a car during a race and went to the stewards office just to get Senna disqualified. You don't have Lewis or Max doing that.
Prost was a tattletale.
There was a lot of drivers in the past that did things. So again, I often challenge people. If you say you don't like a guy, have a valid reason. Please don't let it be the superficial.
And a valid reason is I don't like the fact that he keeps winning, and I'm annoyed that he keeps winning. That's why I don't like him.
I don't like Ferrari right now, guys, because they seem to pull a car back from 2019. I got a beef with him. Babyface, you got to see my sentiment on this one. You guys are going to be good. Red Bull fans, you're good. My McLaren boys had that third... We had it under wraps, babe.
Listen, I don't mean to put salt into the wound.
We had it, babe.
Listen, I don't mean to put salt in the wound.
We had it.
But is it possible that you could have actually clinched that third place had Danny Rick not taken so long to get his feet under him?
I knew you were going to say that. What? See, why do you...
I'm just asking.
No comment.
All those points that were wasted.
I don't want to talk about it anymore, guys. My McLaren fans.
Had Danny Rick.
I'm salty. Okay, I admit it. I'm salty. I'm salty over a number of reasons. Babyface, you have a good point. I'm not addressing that right now. I will save it for Let's Talk About a video. As a McLaren fan, I'm salty. I did not expect Ferrari to come back. I knew they were going to come back quick, but goodness great. I mean, we can't even...
All right,
it's tough.
So we've agreed that you can hang it up for this season.
Unless they just do not finish Ferrari the next 3 races, and I don't see that happening. They're 2 great drivers. They got Sainz and Leclerc. We need Norris and Rick to just go full out. I don't know, guys. I'm doubtful.
I don't think so.
She's a doubter. Okay? Any other doubters out there?
Maybe it's your fault. You haven't been wearing your McLaren hat. You've let your team down.
Maybe that's it, guys, and I apologize for my McLaren fans. If it's because I'm not wearing my McLaren hat and my McLaren hoodie. Maybe that's it. But you don't have a gripe. We do. You're fighting for a championship.
I do have a gripe.
Don't start. You were fighting for a championship with Red Bull. We were fighting for best of the rest. And how dare you come in here and act like you got a complaint? Your guy just won the race. We got 10th and did not finish.
I have an FIA gripe. You have a best of the rest gripe. Do you see that they're 2 different things?
Guys, no, we're not in your league, of course. Guys, my McLaren fans. Guys, I'm sorry. For my fellow McLaren fans, this is painful to watch. We're watching it slip away right in front of us. And this Ferrari car...
It's gone.
This is what I don't need. It's the doubt, the hate. I don't need it, okay? Are you a Ferrari fan now? What are you, huh?
I can't stand Ferrari. And I'm not doubting nor hating. I'm simply...
Are you Karun Shandok? You know, he's a closet Ferrari fan. Every time I listen to him, he's always picking up Ferrari.
That is true.
Are you Karun now? Are you a closet Ferrari fan? Or is that why you're doing this to me?
Absolutely not.
Guys, do you believe this? Come on.
I'm simply making an observation. You're saying it's slipping, suggesting that you can still clinch it. In my opinion, it's already gone.
See?
Unless
you win
McLaren,
you win 7 championships. You kind of get a little lofty there, huh?
McLaren actually wins the next 3 races.
We need to outplace them the next 3 races. We have to
aggressly outplace.
And I don't think we have the pace. I'm worried. This is worry right here, man. We had it. Guys, all you fans out there that your teams had good races, good drives this past weekend, shout out to you. This is rough for me. This is rough, babyface.
You'll be fine.
I was so confident. I was midway through the season. I said, man, I think we're... They bring an upgrade. I was nervous. Remember I told you. I said it. I said, babyface, this upgrade Ferrari has is making me nervous.
Well, you better hope Alpine doesn't figure it out.
I don't know.
Well, Qatar's coming up.
Qatar's coming up. We're here. Qatar is here.
Predictions?
I don't want to. I just don't. I don't have it in me. You predict. I'm too nervous about my McLaren boys. I don't have it into me. I can't do it.
Your McLaren boys? I think it'd be a good race if they both finish in the top 10.
Are you serious? You're only giving us... Okay, so when you say top 10, what exactly top 10?
I think Leclerc's going to do 5, 6.
Okay.
Sainz is probably going to be 6, 7. And Danny, Rick, and Norris are going to be somewhere between 8 and 10.
I hope that's not true.
Okay.
I hope.
Okay.
Your guys are probably going to be fighting for the top like they always do. No hate. Mercedes is a great team. They're killing it. Red Bull fans, you have no gripe either. Because y'all two are fighting for a championship. My guys are watching a bottom 3rd team come out of nowhere this season. Now they're the best of the rest. I'm just trying to figure out what happened, guys. You talking about Park Ferme. Somebody go look at their car. Why didn't Max touch a wing or 2 on theirs? Huh? I'm confused, guys. It's hard. It's really messing with me. So... It was a great weekend. Guys, we'll see you next time. But I'm disgruntled. I'm a disgruntled McLaren fan. I need some answers. FIA has to look into something because this is ridiculous.
The FIA is not going to do anything about that.
McLaren fans, I'm hoping. I don't have any last words, babyface. I'm so...
Well, we'll be back for Qatar.
And she smiles as she says, yeah, Lewis won, so she's good. Bottas 3rd. Her 2 guys are on the podium. Mine... What's 10th? We got a point. So, guys, we'll see you in Qatar. Maybe I'll be in a better mood by the time we record Qatar. I hope. Any last words, babyface?
No.
Oh, don't be docile now. You were just happy. Any
Bye!
See you guys.